Hey everyone, we've brought back Matt, the mortgage guy. And what we're going to do in this conversation is really talk to him about his investing portfolio. One of the things I like about Matt is, again, he's not just a practitioner and a collection of paperwork, but he's in the business. He's one rental at a time, and he's building his portfolio. So Matt, welcome back to the show. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, Mike. Good to see you, man.
Excellent. So why don't we just highlight your real estate investing portfolio? What do you got? How'd they come along? I'll probably ask you questions about your first deal, but let's talk about where you're at today.
Sure. And I've got a side note. It's ours, me and my wife's.
Smart man.
I remember one time I said something about I own this or I own that, and she goes, "Oh, you, huh?"
Yeah.
After all the support and all the help that she's donated, it's like it's ours. It's ours.
Smart man.
You know what? Before we start on what I've got, I want to tell you something about what I don't have.
Okay.
I sold a property in Alabama, August of this year. Only property I've ever sold, and the way I look at real estate, it might be the only property I ever sell because I believe in long-term holds and investment properties. But on my YouTube channel, I recorded a video where I just hope that my $35,000 nightmare helps somebody else, because every mistake you could make, I made. And, it's testament to a couple different things. You can start off doing things wrong in real estate and still succeed. You can look at things and numbers can say one thing and reality can say another. So I think I said, watch this before investing in out-of-state real estate, whatever that is. So Alabama is no longer on the real estate owned sheet. So take Alabama off of there.
Yeah. So again, let's just talk about that. Because again, so many people need to hear that. A lot of people in California, you know this, I know this.
Right.
Look at a California market and go, too expensive. They get enamored by a cheap state. And you said Alabama, it could have been 48 other states. Cheap doesn't mean good, right? You can lose a lot of money on a cheap property. So I just wanted to close on that because people need to hear that. I mean, probably 9 out of 10 California people I talk to I'm going out of state. I'm like,
right,
maybe, but it's not as easy as you think.
So. Right. And that's the thing I said in my video is that, I know people that have done it successfully, and there's a way to do it successfully. There's a way to have a handful of properties in Indiana or somewhere, but, don't be lured in like I was. Oh gosh, 70,000, low property taxes. I'm going to cash flow $200 a month or $250 a month, and I'm only in at 17,000. It only takes a few little hiccups, somebody filing bankruptcy and takes you 7 months to evict them. It can get real ugly real fast. And I'm proof of that. And I laid it out in a video to try to help other folks.
Well, cool. Well, let's talk about what you have. What does the portfolio for you and your wife look like today?
Okay. So I have, excluding my primary, I've got 2 single families in Sacramento. Okay. And then I've got 2 fourplexes in Marysville. So it's a total of 10 doors.
And then Marysville is where?
Marysville is north about an hour. And so it's like Yuba City, Marysville.
Got it. Okay.
And it's funny because the story about me finding Marysville, investing in Marysville was kind of an accident.
All right, let's talk about it.
How'd you find it? I'm in mortgage. And so all day, every day, I'm talking mortgage, talking to real estate agents, talking to investor clients of mine. And I had a real estate agent come to me and say, Matt, I know you talked to me about wanting to buy some rentals. I've got a fourplex, or I got a client who's trying to 1031, and they need to sell this fourplex. And I said, Marysville, like, no, thanks, man. I'm good. He goes, Matt, I'm telling you that if I didn't have 7 flips going right now, I'd buy this thing. He's going to let it go for $350. And this thing's got like 3,700 net rents. It's in good shape. I'm like, I don't know, Bob. I mean, I've never even, where is Marysville?
Yeah, look it up.
And so I see it. He gets me pictures. He gets me rent roll. He gets me all this information. And he's an investor himself, which is another real good tip for anybody looking into rentals. Find an agent who also is an investor.
Agreed. I
cannot stress that enough. 98% of real estate agents wouldn't know what a good investment was if it hit them upside the head. So Bob basically tells me, put an offer. This guy's already in contract on a auto repair shop or a gas station. I can't remember what it was, but he's got incentive to sell.
Yeah.
And so I look at the numbers at 350, the thing makes sense, even with super conservative numbers and repairs. And so I go, we'll just write it at 330. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
See if he responds to it. Long story short, I get it for 330. I get 12,000 in credit for the few little things that I was going to do to get this thing in really like good shape. Because it was, one of the units was completely rehabbed. Another couple were in decent shape. One had some repairs, but that was probably best investment of my life. And it was a complete accident. And
cool.
it's the other lesson to be learned there is, if you're interested in real estate, make sure you don't keep it a secret. Make sure you tell enough people to where they go, hey, you might be interested in this. Because today I can tell you that between that one and a fourplex that's literally around the corner, same agent, same scenario, but now I was excited because 6 months after that first one, between those two, refinanced into some smoking low interest rates. I've got a 1335 mortgage on one and a 1700 on the other. So we'll call it 3,000. Between the two, it's got 6,700 in net rents.
There you go.
And so pay the property management 8%, got, repairs and whatever comes up, but it's spitting off $3,000 a month between the two units. I mean, between the 8 units in those 2 fourplexes.
That's awesome. And again, property manager. So so Marysville obviously has property manager. Do you manage your own stuff in Sacramento or no?
Yeah. And, that's another question I get quite a bit from clients of mine who are looking in rentals. Like, should I manage this? Should I not? My advice is, for the single family I have in Sacramento, that's going to rent for $2,200 a month. That's, it's probably a B+ neighborhood. That tenant is so gosh darn easy that if vetted properly up front,
Agreed.
it's literally Venmo every single month. Hey, Matt, little issue here. I don't know if you want to take care of it, but it's super easy.
Okay.
The Marysville stuff where I see the line items, how to replace a door, how to get a new fridge for this unit, how to do, there's no way I would want to do all that work. And so that 8% I spend super happy.
Yeah,
and folks ask me too, that 3,000 in fairly passive income, how much time are you spending? I spend 10 to 15 minutes reviewing everything every month. I spend maybe 5 or 10 if they call me and say, here's an issue, we want to get your input. Yeah. And then I purposely do a call and I just tell them, hey, I just want to chat once a month, but all in 30 minutes a month. And it's $3,000 income. That's just like clockwork. It's awesome.
That's awesome. When did you buy those? Was it 2019 or 18?
19 on those. And let me back up because this is something that I have tried to coach people through. I think it's the very best way to get started in real estate. Before I had those, my first single family Sacramento investment property was that house I lived in that I almost lost. And I had to get it. What's that called? Oh gosh. Where you barter with the bank in 2009, modify. So, yeah.
Modification. Yeah.
So I lived in there from 06 until 2017. I bought a new house and it, by default turned into a rental. I tell people that is a really easy way. And for people who aren't, making tons of money and saving tons of money, you buy a single family property with 3% down, 5% down, live in it for so many years. If it makes sense as a rental, and that's an important part of it too, is it doesn't always make sense.
Yeah.
Move into your next house and that becomes a rental. Because here's some quick math, which I like to highlight to people. That house, it's not like this cash flowing machine that's spitting off all this money, but let's just call it break even. And it's a little bit better than break even. As I'm paying it down, well, the tenants are paying it down and we take maybe 3% appreciation per year. It's just adding $20,000 a year to my net worth. And you talk about autopilot, like the type of tenant you have in a 3-bedroom that's paying $2,200 a month is, you know, very little stress, very little work, and $20,000 a year on autopilot. You know, in 10 years, it'll be $250,000 added to net worth. Like, there's few vehicles out there that can really do that to your net worth. I know me and you align on this because you're big on real estate, but I did a presentation where I compared that to a 401k. You know, pay in, how much do you have to pay to get $250,000 in your 401k versus this thing that I moved out. I'm not paying anything. It's the tenant's paying. Maybe I get $100 or $200 in cash flow, but that doesn't matter. Even if I get zero, I just added $500,000 in 20 years.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing. Yeah. Real estate is a great forced savings account for many people. It's again, that's why I talk to most people about just get to 4 rental properties, right? I always pick 4 because it's easiest to get loans, right? But yeah, if you can get to 4 rentals, 4 single family homes, 4 fourplexes, whatever they are, 4 residential investment loans, you could change your future because of that, right? You just get the compounding effect, mortgage pay down, appreciation, tax deductions. It's just an amazing thing. And then one of the reasons I like your channel, Matt, the mortgage guy on YouTube, is because you are an investor, right? You might be a mortgage broker first, fine, right? That's your day job, but you are an investor. So you look at deals, you evaluate deals. I'm sure you get brought deals all the time where you just tell the person, that's a bad deal. You're not going to make any money.
Right. Yeah. And I've got plenty of those, and it's cool for me. You know, I'm on rung 2 on the ladder. I've got people that come into me that aren't even on the ladder yet, but then I've got, you know, a coach who I've worked with for 3 years, who's a big real estate investor. I've got investors who are higher up on the ladder than I am, and being able to learn from and bounce ideas off of. I recently had a buddy who brought me an apartment complex. And so I said, I'm not that well-versed. Here's my thoughts on it. Here's what I think. Let's get somebody who's even, you know, higher level analysis. 3 of us got on a call, and by the end of the call, we're like, what a terrible deal. That thing's not even, but it was, there was so much excitement going into it. Like, oh my gosh, you know, this guy's willing to sell or finance, and we're going to be able to, you know, have a 14-unit apartment complex in Sacramento. And, you know, lo and behold, once you really dig in, oh, that thing's a terrible deal.
I got to run away. That's pretty amazing. So kind of any closing thoughts when you think about your history, your experience, and you're helping the next investors? What should they be thinking about? Should they get started now? What's your general advice for people?
My general advice for anybody, whether it's, you know, buying your primary residence, buying your first rental, anything to do with mortgage, you are in such an amazing place to be able to get so much free information on YouTube, and, you know, maybe Reddit is something that folks also go to for information. But when I'm talking to people and I'm telling them, let's get pre-approved, let's talk about the numbers, it's all for their benefit. And as an investor, you know, who's got access to bigger pockets, 1 rental at a time, Matt, the Mortgage Guy's YouTube channel, just educate yourself. And that is a humongous advantage. When something comes up, you're going to, 1, be able to identify it. 2, it's not going to be like, I don't know if I can make this happen. I've got no idea how the mortgage works. I know exactly what I need to put down. I know what that monthly payment's going to be, and around about what the rate's going to be. And, you know, the education piece is so huge, and it's so accessible. And for people who are buying a house, whether they think about it as an investment or not, I tell them, you know, it's crazy. If you go to Disney Alani and take your family, you and your wife might put in 20 hours of research on what you're going to do at Disney Alani. And that's a pretty small investment compared to a $400,000 investment property. But some people just, I'm pre-approved. I filled out some numbers, sent them some info, pre-approved. Let's go. Put in a little research.
I'll take the blue one.
That favor.
I love that. I'll take the blue one. Well, why do you want the blue one? I don't understand. I'll take the brown one. Why? I don't get it. Pretty amazing, man. Well, I appreciate you being on the channel. Thanks for being a part of One Rental at a Time. Have a great Thanksgiving and take care.
You too, man.
All right. Thanks.